Chapter 12. What is body show us? This process of learning is a gradual one, and the earlier manifestations of the undeveloped man upon the lower planes are by no means beautiful to see. We have not chosen absolutely the primitive man for illustration, because in his case there is as yet so very little to illustrate. But the savage whose causal body is represented in Plate 5 would be likely to possess much such a mental body as is shown in Plate 6, and an astral body of the type given in Plate 7. It must be understood that all these bodies occupy the same space and interpenetrate one another, so that in looking clairvoyantly at the savage we should observe his physical body surrounded by a luminous ovoid mist, but that mist would present to us the appearance of Plate V, Plate 6, or Plate 7, according to the type of clairvoyance which we employed. Using our own astral senses, we should see his astral body only, and should learn from that what passions or emotions or sensations he was at the moment experiencing, and to which of these he was in the habit of yielding himself frequently. This is the field of the manifestation of desire, the mirror in which every feeling is instantly reflected, and which every thought, even which has in it anything that touches the personal self, must express itself. From its material, a bodily form is given to the dark elementals which men create and set in motion by evil wishes and malicious feelings. From it also are bodied forth the beneficent elementals called into life by good wishes, gratitude, and love. As might naturally be expected, there is little of permanency about its manifestations. Its colors, its brilliancy, the rate of its pulsations, are all changing from moment to moment. An outburst of anger will charge the whole astral body with deep red flashes on a black ground. A sudden fright will instantaneously veil everything in a mist of ghastly, livid gray. Nevertheless, there will be moments when even this fluctuating astral vehicle is comparatively at rest, and it will then show a definite group of colors which retain more or less the same arrangement. Such a moment is that chosen for our illustration in Plate 7, and from this, as we shall presently see, a good deal of information about the man may be obtained. Using our mental sight, it would be the mental body of our savage friend that we should perceive, and it would probably resemble that illustrated in Plate 6. As far as its colors are the same, this body would agree fairly with the astral in a condition of repose, but it would also be much more than this, for in it would appear whatever might be developed in the man of spirituality and intellectuality, not much yet, perhaps, in the case of our savage, but of considerable importance later on, as we shall see in due course. From this mental body we are therefore able to deduce what kind of man he is, and what sort of use he has made of his life so far in this incarnation. But if we are fortunate enough to be able to apply to the problem the perfect power of vision exercised through our causal body, then what we see is the causal body of the savage, and from that we know how far his real life as a soul has advanced, and what progress the ego has made in its unfoldment towards divinity. It will be seen that, before the trained clairvoyant who is able to employ all these various degrees of sight in turn, the entire life of the man in all its stages lies open like a book. For on these higher planes no man can hide or disguise himself, what he truly is, that he is seen to be by any unprejudiced spectator. Unprejudiced, I say, because we must never forget that each sees the other through the medium of his own vehicles, and so is somewhat in the position of one looking at a landscape through colored glass. Until he has learned to make allowance for this influence, he will be liable to consider as most prominent in the man at whom he is looking just those characteristics to which he finds himself most ready to respond. But with a little careful practice he soon frees himself from the distortion produced by this personal equation, and is able to read clearly and accurate.